Okay, it's Saturday. It's a Saturday. All right, here we go. This is um, page 19, final panel of Princess of Apshai. Now, on this panel, hang on, I'm in the ink layer. I now have the right nib. And I have to draw these sort of clone hatching apparatus. And then this is not going to be very complicated. I'm looking at it now. I want to go, so one of the tricks that you can do to really boost your perspective shot is like these are pretty close in graduation. Then it's got small, slightly larger, slightly larger. Let's go real big on this front one. We're going to put right up front. And in fact, the thing inside of it's going to be like way bigger than I've even drawn it here. And that way you get a really good look at it. Make this one the smallest one. And I've drawn a bit of the panel already, or sort of drawn it. And what we're supposed to be seeing here, although I don't know if it's readily apparent, is the door is sliding into the wall. They're on the other side of it, but it's going. Maybe I need some sound effect going in or something. I've been looking at the Floyd Gottfredson Mickey Mouse, and there's a lot of just pure cartooning. And one of those is the little steam cloud that comes out when something moves. So maybe I'll do like a little steam cloud there. Accompanied by a sound effect. Because this is the only text on there so far, so we could fit, let's put it on its own. I'm going to put it on its own layer for right now, just in case we want to just get rid of it. And then we'll figure out, should have action lines coming out like this. I think so. I think that would be a good one. Okay, the other thing is it's forced perspective. So that means even these lines on the interior of the door should all be going towards the vanishing point. Now, I haven't drawn the vanishing point. Of course, that would be the proper thing to do, is to actually put your vanishing point down and draw your vectors to the vanishing point. But you don't always have to do that. And the reason is, if you just keep in mind the, let's get back to the ink layer. The principle of perspective is that the larger objects are closer, the smaller ones are further away, and this applies to even the angles that you're trying to build here. And actually, and there's nothing that line can give you except accuracy, like good mathematical accuracy. But that isn't necessarily a good thing, in my opinion, because if you make it too accurate, it looks like Google SketchUp. It looks bad. It doesn't look natural, in my opinion. creating a cartoon universe, and the cartoon universe has to have its own, you know, its own physics, its own laws of order. And then once you've reached into something like SketchUp and these sort of traced 3D models, you're leaving a lot of that behind, and you're creating an uncanny valley situation. Like I literally saw one guy who lays out his comic by taking pictures of his friends with a cell phone camera, and then he traces the pictures. He goes, and this is how I avoid the uncanny valley. No, you're creating the uncanny valley when you do that. Because a drawing is not a picture. And we have to sort of account for what looks like in the drawing to suspend our disbelief. That's just another reason I'm using this sort of analog, noisy looking nib. If you look at it, look, it's got holes in it and stuff. Um, and the nib is designed to do that. It's called the rusty nib. Because then when taken as a whole, you won't, like when I shrink it back down, this is about print size right here. You won't see the line breaks or anything like that, but the noise feels like warmth, like it feels like it's a little bit more analog drawn because it is digital. All right. Now the hardest figure is going to be her. But I don't want to get to the back panel just yet. I need to go front first. So let's, once again, let's find that one panel. I think it's this one. Okay. Well, hey now. That's not what I asked. All right. Let's save the photos. All right. Then we'll bring up reference and import. And we're going to grab this panel that we just worked on, just so we can remind ourselves what the Mirrormites really look like, because we're going to draw a bunch of them right up here. Or Mirrormite workers, drones, and soldiers. Technically, Illuminara is a Mirrormite too. She's a Mirrormite princess. So they're a little bit like bees, in that they're, even though they're the same species, they're biologically different. Also have a little bit of a Tomb of the Cybermen idea going on here as well. All right. I want to show that they're in this stasis state in their pods. I don't know if I've done that right. Like it might be better to show the eyes closed like this. That would be better. And depending on the creature, they might have, kind of claws like the Metaluna mutant. That forearm is way too big. Well, sometimes I can draw hands. All right. Let's have this hand up here. Okay. Now, why are we doing this guy instead of concentrating on our important figures right over there? Well, the reason for that is this is the important figure in this panel, not the main characters. He's right up front. Some of these creatures have four arms too, by the way. Not all of them. You can see a couple of them have 4 arms, some of them 2 arms. This would be a drone. The soldiers have like more flat-looking heads and claw-like hands. Maybe they have like they're suspended in fluid. All right, let's take a look without the pencils that are throwing me off. I want you to be able to see. That's not a center line. This is a center line. Okay. I want you to be able to see as a reader, like, whoops, kind of see what's going on with them. I don't think I'm going to get this guy finished, at least in this one. I might finish this on Drive-In Saturday, which will be tonight at 6 p.m. There'll be a live stream. There, I said it. And usually I do some sketchbooking, and then we go in for a comic at the end. It's okay to superimpose these bubbles. It's okay. In fact, I can even take off. All right, looking good. All right, let's do a soldier on the other side. Now this figure, even though he's the closest, he's not that important. I don't think I can fit the whole of his head in there. The these guys. Let me bring it. Where's my reference? They have these kind of flat, more praying mantis looking heads, and they have these trapezoid shaped torsos. And then more claw-like arms. There we go. Ooh. No, I don't like that. I gotta figure out some way to push the other. Like the other arm has to be like this arm. Like it has to be. They have to fit their whole bodies into these tubes. So let's go ahead and see if we can fit. Oh, look. Take the pencil line out and you can see all the things you missed. Now, of course, I gotta keep reminding myself, print size is here. We're drawing it at like 2 up or something like that. Okay, let's see. If this was his whole arm, his whole torso, and then there was this one. No, if I did that, it would cross over the other arm too much. Maybe it comes out here. It's kind of liking that for a second, but I realized I'd. All right. I realized I'd messed up the line weight. Line weight is very important. Don't get your line weights right. Got to hit your marks. What's this line? This is what happens to me. I constantly like I'll throw something down and I'll be fixing it, and I'll just see the spare line somewhere that I drew, and I can't remember what I drew it for. Like it probably had a purpose at some point, and then it might have been a guideline or a draw through line or something like that. For whatever reason, it's still there. I can't remember why I did it, and it's messing up the composition at that point. It's like this thing here is. All right, am I running into the same problem? I think I know what all these lines stand for. You know what they stand for? They stand for fun. Somebody actually asked me that. They said, "What does Empyrean Vole stand for?" And I said, "I stand for fun." I know it's a bold stance. It's a bold position to take. All right, now we're having kind of an issue because I want it to be clear that this is the leg bone and this is the leg bone and this is stuff that's going on behind. So we have to kind of fake in an edge on some of this other shit that's going on behind it. Right. Come on now. And I think like adding a texture or even like a stipple. A stipple. Oh, let's do a little stipple. Hold on, we'll switch to the tones layer for the stipple just to make sure that if we decided it's not for us. There it is. That's the one I like. Scatter stipple like that. A little bit bigger. Something about the stipple. I know it's just a dot, but if you wanted to like shade with it, you could. You could easily shade with it. Although I don't normally. It doesn't look bad if I do. Stipple Studio. All right, let's do a little more stippling there. Let's do a little stipple on him. I mean, he's so close. Inevitably, somebody's going to ask us, say, well, how come he's got hands and the other ones don't? And it's the same reason that Illuminara has hands. The drones are actually, and the workers are actually higher level than the soldiers, in evolutionary terms. So hang on. And we're definitely not going to get this done today, or maybe we will get it done, but not in this video. Let's just show some machinery in the back. We want to play like it's a completely different environment than the caves that they were just in. Where that last battle took place. With some tubes, some monitors. Hang on. Throw out a monitor there. Hither and yon, baby. That's what I'm all about. Okay, here we go. All right. I've got a couple of things. How about this guy back here? He can go a little bit softer because now, like this two behind, hardly anybody in there. These other tubes, though, we're going to be able to show more of the figures so we can kind of see what's going on. Oh, you know what we should also do? As long as we're here. Okay. So this is almost one where I want to get a vanishing point on there, but because we're leaving the cave environment, we can have a tiled floor. So let's just see if we can fake it in and if that looks good. I think that looks okay. Now we've completely left the environment of the cave and gone into this new area, but we're going to still show the back wall as being like a cave wall. It's still stone. And then, of course, the glass is translucent, so we can show a little bit behind it. Now, if we were really clever, we could even do sort of glass distortion effects, kind of bend it a little bit. I'm not that clever, so we're going to avoid doing that. I think we should be okay. Like this is already bending a little bit in the way I don't want it to. But for our purposes, we're just going to make sure that it's using a very thin line weight. And the figure that's inside there will superimpose and it'll look good. Same here. Clones. Okay. So I'm going to leave this for right now. We've done 26 minutes. I think that's enough to start. Um, Please like, follow, and subscribe. There will be more comics every day. Yes, even though this is the last page, that means we're going to start on a new comic. Actually, I want to make her just a bit taller. I keep sort of self-consciously compensating for her hair. All right. I also want to make sure that her body language shows surprise. It doesn't really in this figure right here, so when I draw it, I'm going to have to, rethink the figure. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will be back tonight at 6 p.m., and then there will be more comics every day. Talk to you later.